So today we will cover JDBC in JSP. JDBC in JSP, it is also one important point. So last time we had discussed how to fetch data or how to retrieve data from a table in JSP. That point was important. So in project development point of view, so database part definitely it will require. So we will see. So we will take a problem statement. So already we have known JDBC in servlet. So in JSP, so we will see. So how the JDBC code we will write in JSP. Let's same way one problem statement I will take. Suppose we have a registration form. So let the file name is registration.jsp. So in registration form there are some attributes. Suppose let a registration number. Suppose let we will consider a student database and there is a registration and login concept. So for registration we have a registration form. Let suppose registration number is a text box. Let then next attribute is name. Name is another text box. Let next attribute is email. So another text box. Let next attribute is password. So another text box. And there is a command button. So let the value of the command button is register. So in this way we have a registration form. We have a registration form. So very simple. So the user or any student will fill this form. The user will give the data, means give the value, registration number, name value, email value, password value. Then after that, when the user will click on register button, then data will go to the database. So this is front end, or we can say this is presentation logic. So when I will click on the button, register button, so action will generate. We know that this type of concept already we have studied in servlet. So when I will click, a process file we have to develop. A process file we have to develop. So let the process file name is suppose registration process.jsp. Let reg suppose process.jsp. So we will consider this file is our process file. This process file will contain business logic. So when we will click on register button, then this process file will execute. As a result, data will go to the database. So first of all, we have to develop registration.jsp. Then based on this form in database environment, we will create a table, and here how many number of attributes? 1, 2, 3, 4. So based on this form, so there are 4 attributes, there were 4 columns. I will create a table by taking 4 columns. So let suppose my table name is registration. My table name is suppose registration. Then by taking 4 columns, registration number, name, email, then password. This. So then we will develop a business logic, process file, registration process.jsp file. Then we will go to web.xml file, and in web.xml file we will set registration.jsp as our welcome file. So I hope the problem statement everybody got clarity. So I will go to now Eclipse environment. So first of all, this is my project structure. So JDBC logic. So I am going to write. So you remember, so we are using MySQL as our database. So MySQL connector, many times that already I have given the clarity. So this jar file, and this is an external jar file we have to configure. That means this external jar file we will bring into our project structure. Okay, this part or this discussion already we have done. Now I will go to wave up folder, right click, new JSP. So let my file name is what, registration.jsp. So now this is my registration.jsp. Suppose title is registration form. Suppose I want to display registration form in center. Suppose an header. Suppose I want to give for decoring. Suppose I will write registration form. Okay. Now what I will write? So as per the discussion, so when action will generate, registration process dot JSP file will execute. So for this what I will write, form action equals to, so registration process dot JSP. So I will always suggest, I will always recommend, so for creating a form you use table tag, table, and you use table row tr, and you use table data td. So first one is what, a registration number, first attribute. Then I will end td. So then the registration number is a text box. Input type equals to text name equals to whatever you write. Suppose I will write registration number. So this part already we had discussed. So then I will end table row. So this is for one row. So now what I will do, I will copy and I will paste again. Then in place of registration number, I will write name input type equals to text name equals to name. Then for email, so I will write email. So input type equals to email. Let name equals to email. Then for password, so I will write this password. So for password input type equals to password, name equals to whatever you write. Let's suppose I will write pass. Then I will represent the submit button. So input type equals to submit. So value equals to register. Then I will end table. Then I will end form. Then I will end center. So in this way, I developed a registration form. So I will go to web.xml file and welcome file. I will set registration.jsp. So this is my welcome file. So now after presenting registration form, so I will go to database. So first, based on the registration form, I will create a table. So first of all, okay, so I will create a database. Create database name. Let database name is registration DB. Okay, so I will hit run. Just here I will do the refresh button. Registration DB. So already I have this database. Okay, so I will use this database. So use this. So create. So in registration DB database, I will create a table. Create table name registration. Okay. Then first is registration number. Let's suppose where here 200. Let this is primary key. Name where here 200. Then email where here 200. Then password where here 200. So in this way, I will create a table registration. So this part already we have known how to create a table. There is no need to explain in detail. So now I will hit run. So table created. So registration table I created, but how I created based on the registration form. So you see, so just I will do a refresh button. You see registration table created, and this is the columns registration number, name, email, and password. So based on the form, whatever you have, So based on the form, I created a registration table. Now I will go to Eclipse environment and I will develop a process file. So process file. So file name is this reg process. So I will go to a web folder, new and JSP. Click on finish. Okay. So now I think in my last class already some point I have discussed. Again, this that point I will repeat. So here JDBC logic I will write. Data will go to database means simple inserting a record into a table. Inserting a record into a table, that part already we have known in JDBC. That same logic I will do copy and paste here. But one thing, so JDBC code when I will write, so we know it is mandatory that we have to import a package, that is java.sql package. So in which way we will import java.sql package, that is called as what? Page directive. From the beginning I have told one terminology, page directive, how I will write and where I am writing, you see, just before HTML tag before. Okay. So how I will write percentage at the rate page import equals to in this way java dot sql dot star package. So control S. In this way I will import java.sql package. So percentage at the rate page import. So this line is called as what? This line is called as page directive. Okay, this point you remember. Now I will use scriptlet tag. I will use scriptlet tag because this file is my business logic. This file is my process file containing business logic. So since it will contain business logic and we know, so within scriptlet tag I will write. So first of all same things. So we will process the form data. This part already we have known. Request dot get parameter within bracket. So whatever we have written, name equals to registration number, for name is equal to name, for email, password pass. Okay, so I will do copy and I will paste. For name, suppose this is S2, this is name, then S3, then S4. Email pass. So already this part we know how to process the form data. Then data will go to database. That means inserting a record into a table. We know that this is a DML operation. For performing DML operation in JDBC execute update method, we have to call execute update method returns an int value. So output variable, that is an int variable, we will take this part already we have known. So let int k equals to 0, let we have no record. So since JDBC code by default throwing checked exception, so we will write within try and catch block or we will use throws keyword. So here throws keyword we cannot use because there is no method here. So that's why I will write, so try block. I will write JDBC code within try block. So this part already I have, so there is no need to take more and more time. So directly I will do copy and paste. So this part already we have done. So first load and register the driver, establish the connection, but simply here database name I will change registration DB. Okay. So then create the statement object. So insert into table name. Table name is registration. So there are four attributes, means four columns, then four question mark. And here, so once parameterized SQL statement we are representing, immediately we have to call setter method. So I can write set string first registration number 1 comma s1, because registration number value have assigned in s1. So simply I will copy and I will paste. Okay. So 1 for first column, 2 for second column, 3 for third column, 4 for fourth attributes, S2, S3 and S4. Because registration number value assigned in S1, name value have assigned in S2, email value have assigned in S3, password value have assigned in S4. Then this, so now execute update method I will call. So this part already you all have known. First line is representing to load and register the driver. For name method is a static method or built-in method when it will call by a class named as a class. And for name method taking an argument. This argument is nothing but type for driver class name for my SQL database. That is a driver. So this is the path. So when for name method is invoking by a class named as a class and taking this argument, then type for driver loaded. Similarly, establishment of connection, another static method get connection. When it is invoking by driver manager class, then it is returning connection object. Connection is an interface. So get connection method taking three argument. Second argument is default username. Third argument is password. So for your MySQL database. Then first argument is URL protocol. This is called as SOP protocol database name. This is called as what server name. This is port number. And this is a registration DB is my database name. Then in this way, establishment of connection we have done. Then create the statement object, prepare statement object. Definitely I will create. So how I will get prepared statement object. Now when prepare statement method is invoking by connection object, then it is what returning prepared statement object. So it is a such method taking an argument. This argument is required SQL statement, but particularly this statement is called as what parameterized SQL statement. This question mark once you have given, so you have four columns, four question marks. So prepared statement specifically used to execute parameterized SQL statement. So once question mark we have given means immediately I have called setter method. So then execute update method I will call. So simply if I will write if k is greater than 0, if k is greater than 0, that means one record inserted. Then suppose I will write a response dot send redirect. Suppose another JSP file will give the response. Let welcome.jsp. Suppose if k is greater than 0, then welcome.jsp file will give the response registration is successful if k is greater than 0. So this is the logic. Then try block completed, immediately I will write catch block. So without try is meaningless. Okay, so I can write simply print stack trace method. This is optional. Okay, so this is my process file. So immediately we have to develop welcome.jsp file. We have welcome.jsp file. So simply response message I will write registration is successful. Control S. So file registration.jsp file. Then this is our process file. Process file is registration process.jsp, and this is my welcome.jsp file. So already in web.xml file we have already set the welcome file, that is registration.jsp. So this is registration form, this is process file, this is response message. This file is providing. Now everything is ready. Now I will run. So right click on the project, run as, run on server, select server, click on next button, select project name, click on finish. So you see we have got a registration form. For decoring, if I will give table border equals to 1, suppose, let it, we will see what we are getting. Okay, so this is my registration form. Okay, let 1001 name, suppose Akshay Swine, email Akshay for you @gmail.com, password suppose TTT. Okay, now click on register button. You see we got the output registration is successful. You see, so which file is giving this response? Welcome.jsp file. So URL creating localhost colon 8080 slash project name slash this message where we have written welcome.jsp file. So now I will go to my database. Then I will check. So first of all I will check table describe table name registration. Okay. So this is my table. Now I will check whether that record have inserted or not. How I will check? So I will write star from select star from table name. Now I will run. You see record have inserted 1001 Akshay Swai, Akshay for you @gmail.com, password is triple T. Okay, so registration process dot JSP file executed. When that process file executed, when action generated. So when action generated, when the user clicked on the button in registration form. So in this way, we will write JDBC code in JSP. So this is very important point. So in every project development, so this concept definitely we will require. So this is all about JDBC in JSP.